Hi everyone, my name is Jamal. Today I'll be going through another article on intended audience are doctors or whoever is doing MBBS or medical studies at the moment or right now. So the idea here is like, first of all, I'll briefly tell you about the author of this article, who is Athan Malik. Athan Malik is a co-director at Generative AI Lab at Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania. He's also the writer of Core Intelligence. It is one of the best books listed by Financial Times for 2024. So the idea is, I mean, you guys already have heard about the LLMs, chatbots. For example, ChatGPT, and now we have another one, XAI, Grok. So these are the kind of models which are being trained on 33 billion or even more than these parameters or like columns of the data. So I mean, being a doctor, you must have read or memorized a lot of books. You must have done a lot of practice. But at the end of the day, the data is going to bypass all of these things. Like you can like barely memorize maybe 10 books a year, 20 books a year, or maybe like in extreme cases, 100 or thousands of books, right? But these models, which are being trained on 33 billions of parameters, you can't really beat them, right? And this is what this article states. This is the whole gist of the article. So I'm quickly gonna like review this statistical result that has been shown, that has been put forward by this writer, and it is basically the distribution of diagnosis given the history of different patients. Don't worry, because the intended audience are doctors, so I'm going to break it down. This we call it box plots, right? So in the first block, a box plot. So I'll go through the x's, the y-axis and the x-axis. On the x-axis, which is basically the horizontal line, and you can see GPT-4 alone, physician plus GPT-4, and then at the last we have only physician. And on the y-axis, which is a vertical line, you can see the score starting from 35 till 100. So this is the accuracy score. So what we are doing here is we are giving we have a cases, right? Cases across different patients. Maybe we have, let's take an example of 100 cases. Let's say I have a data of 100 cases. I have complete history of the patients, and I know, because I am running an experiment. Let's say I'm an economist. I work in healthcare economics, and I want to see the efficiency of a doctors, physicians, when they work alone, when they work with ChatGPT 4 or any other LLM. Or I also want to see what if I only use GPT-4. So so in that sense, in that way, I can compare the results, right? So this is what the box plot is telling us right here. So in the first case, which is box plot in color red. So in the box plot, you can see a vertical line, sorry, a horizontal black line. This is known as median of the box plot, which is in colored red. And it is corresponding, it is the black line is somewhere between 90 and 95. So you can say 92%. So what it means is, if you give, and it's for the GPT-4 alone. So what I mean by that is I'm giving 100 the history of 100 patients to the ChatGPT-4, and I am asking ChatGPT-4 to diagnose them, right? To tell me what exactly these patients are going through and what is the potential disease that they can have, right? So out of 100 cases, 92, 93 times the ChatGPT 4 has predicted the right disease, has diagnosis the right value or the right disease, right? Well, in second case, which is a box plot in color green. Now here you can see, and by the way, this green color is when we have a physician. So now in the second case, I have a physician and I also have GPT-4. So I merge the opinions from both of these, right? I'll give ChatGPT, I'll give a physician access to ChatGPT-4 to use it to give it prompt. And by the way, one more thing. I should have like talked about earlier in the video, but now it's I think I should mention it. Like what I mean by prompting. So, for example, if everybody use Google, right? So, whenever you go to Google and you write something, maybe you write who won today's match, who won today's cricket match, right? This is called prompt. You ask a question on the Google or you ask for some information on the Google. This is not as a prompt. Like what you are giving as an input to the system is known as a prompt in a simple language. And although the prompting is sort of the same on Google and ChatGPT, but the answers vary differently. ChatGPT is always going to give you a detailed answer, and it focus on the instructions that you will provide. It may comes up with the proper statistics, maybe explanation, and it also tries to come up with the reasoning. So this reasoning part is like incredible for the LLMs. And I think the most emerging field is going to be the explainable AI, where we want the AI to explain the results that it provide. So we want to know why it should be the case. So that's where the reasoning part comes into play, and that's going to be so strong in the future that, of course, like obviously, it's going to hurt a lot of people by profession, right? So back to this figure, and we were at the second part, which is in color green. So here you can see the black line in the middle of the green box is somewhere between 75 and 80. So let's say it's 72%, right? So what it means is I gave 100 the same 100 cases to the physician, and I asked him to write a prompt, like to write a prompt or GPT-4, and also use your judgment, like whatever you think, and combine both results and tell me one clear answer. So eventually I'll be getting the output of a physician who is also using the chat GPT 4, right? So I'll consider those results, right? He uses ChatGPT, like he asks ChatGPT 4, he also uses his knowledge, his experiment, his experience, and he comes up with a diagnose, right? Diagnose for a particular case. And out of 100 cases, there's a probability, and out of those 100 cases he predicted around 77 or 76% of the cases true. So there's a still, I mean, it's still good, but he made at least 27, 24 mistakes. He diagnoses 24, 25 cases wrongly, given that he also has access to the GPT-4, right? And in the third case, where we are only using the physician, like we are using no LLM, nothing. It's only physician. I know, like for a physician, it's I was discussing, I was like, I obviously going through this article and I read a very interesting fact that doctors are really reluctant. And I mean, they hate the fact that they get instructions from a machine, right? Because LLM is working on a machine and they hate it. Like they hate getting instructions from a machine. And the second reason that they are so reluctant to adopt this technology is because it's really hard for them to get their hands on, right? So these are the kind of problems that currently doctors are facing. But in the third case, if you see, when there's only doctor and it's in color blue, the black line, the horizontal black line in the blue box is below 75%, and like it's somewhere in between 70 and 75. It's closer to 75, so let's take 74%. So out of those 100 cases, physician only diagnoses 74 cases correctly, while he made 24 mistakes. So here's the thing. I mean, you can like everything is in front of you. Like Chat GPT-4 is bypassing physician in every case. And again, I'll mention it again. You can go through the grok. You can go through how LLMs or how ChatGPT like being trained. How many parameters we they use to train a model, LLM model. So I was reading a grok model training process, which is, so by the way, grok is being overlooked by CEO of SpaceX, who is Elon Musk, and the team is really incredible, really really incredible, and they have used 33 billion, as I mentioned earlier in the video. They've used around 33 billion parameters to come up with the model. So when those models will go live, right? So they're actually going to make a huge difference, right? So they may be getting accuracy of maybe 99% or maybe 98%, 95%, and with along with the reasoning. So that's a huge breakthrough. That's gonna be a huge breakthrough when these things come along with the when the reasoning part. This is going to beat everyone. So I really request doctors to please at least start with these kind of things. They should adopt the use of LLMs, right? I know there are reasons you guys don't want to, but you have to, right? So I'll attach the link to this article so you can actually start from this article. This article also includes some links for the AI prompting. And as I mentioned, like what exactly prompting is, and it's really important to learn prompt, to give prompt to LLMs. It's very important because uh, LLMs are sensitive to the cases. I mean, by the case, I mean like if you're giving extra spaces or you're capitalizing anything, it's like a child. You have to train it, right? And you have to like deal with patient. So it's a LLM comes with a great patient, right? They have a great patience in them. You can ask a question multiple times, they're gonna answer you. But how do you ask the questions is what depends on you. So I think that's one thing. And best of luck, doctors. And yeah, thank you so much.